What's up, guys? Lockhart here. We'll bring you my dueling build for the Summerset patch. A little bit of disclaimer, I'm going to show you guys an exploit at the end of the video. It's exploiting a bug in the game, and it's pretty game breaking. I really hope Zoss addresses it. I don't think anyone else has posted a video on it, but I really hope to get around to it because what I'm going to show you is absolutely game breaking. But we'll get to that, near the end of the video. So this is a dueling build. It's not strictly dueling, but it is, with the dueling mindset, frame of mind. You can run this in open world if you really want, but you're going to need a lot more sustain than this build has right now. In duels, you're able, to manage your sustain. There's not a lot of surprises that come along. So I wouldn't try to run this necessarily in open world or BGs, just because there is a lack of sustain, against multiple people. You can easily turn this into an open world build, by adjusting your food and your enchantments and your jewelry, but I really won't worry about it. This is not really that type of build. It's mostly dueling build. You're gonna one shot everyone. This build's kind of inspired by Blob a little bit. I'm taking all of the weaknesses to his overload build and addressing them and making a build that's much more reliable in terms of burst. And you're not relying on just one single combo to kill your opponent, because you just never know when they're going to be low and you actually need to hurt and finish someone off. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the gear we're running 5 elegant. This is just on the front bar. This is a special staff. You can actually just get I think it's the Nest Mother in Ariadon drops this. It drops it in Infuse. Of course, you'll probably have to change it to whatever trait you want. But I suggest Nerf Home because your weapon traits carry over to your overload bar, which we'll be using. It's an overload build after all. So yeah, there's that. We're using weapon damage enchantment. That's mostly because the weapon damage enchantment is going to be better than any other enchantment in terms of damage, because the way we go for our burst, you're able to proc this right when your overload attacks go off, and that greatly outweighs any damage enchantment you can put on this. Anyway, back bar, just a restoration staff of willpower. I suggest a weekend enchantment if you're going to be in duels. Like I said, if you're going to turn this open world, maybe put on like a drain stamina or drain Magicka enchantment. Entirely up to you, but that's on our back bar. The next that we're running is 2 Shadowrend. I tried 5-1-1 and I tried all 7 light, and 5-1-1 your sustain, I mean, it's really not too bad, but and then I tried all 7, and then your health pool is just ridiculously low. I mean, it's scarcely low. So I was like, well, I'll just go for the in between. I'm running 6-0-1, so I'm running 1 heavy and 6 light. So Shadowrend gives you recovery, which is pretty much needed. Gives you Clan Fear, inflicts minor maim. It does a little bit of damage, but the purpose of this is so we can proc our Necropotence. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Necropotence is. Gives you the damage with a pet active. So you don't necessarily have to have one on your bar, which takes up slots. And there we go, utility. Dueling build, I have all spell damage on my my shit. I was wondering why there's a little research thing, but I understand now. It's jewelry crafting. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the gear setup. Not much to it. Now, bar setup, it's pretty flexible. I'm gonna go with the back bar first. Let's go character sheet. Never mind the character sheet. Like I said in my last video, the avatar one. Here's the stats buffed, not fully buffed, but oh well. The recovery and stamina recovery, don't worry about that. The Deep Thoughts skill takes care of your stamina and most of your match recovery. And we're running Eldry in our front bar, which I'll flip over to in just a moment. So here's the stats you need. Running the Mage, as always, for more max Magicka, more resource pool, bigger shields. I'm running Tri-Stats because we don't have any sort of stamina sustain, so you need to increase your stamina pool as much as possible, just in case you need a break free roll dodge, those scenarios. Which, if you're against a Magicka Nightblade, you'll have to do that quite a lot. So, yeah, back to skills. So it's pretty cut and paste on our back bar, running 3 wards. Harness, Hardened, Healing Ward. You need the sustain, don't run dampen. And empower, I thought about empower ward, but since our recovery is ass, there's no point really running it. Yeah, it's cheaper, but I mean, you could if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. I just prefer harden, right? And power surge, this is our major sorcery buff, and of course our crit heals a little bit, which is pretty advantageous. And deep thoughts, you guys don't know what this does. It's essentially equivalent to around 4,000 recovery watts channeled. And we're running temporal guard. We're only running this to give us the minor protection. So it's 8% damage mitigation on our back bar. Just pretty nice. It applies to your wards. Reason we got power surge here, it pairs pretty well in tandem with the passives from the Sigil Order skill line. Mostly deliberation. I don't have to explain this. You guys can read it while you're channeling the shit. Reduce damage by 30%. And concentrate barrier when you're blocking. This gives you a barrier. It's pretty nice. I wouldn't worry about the other passives. But yeah, so you're really tanky on your back bar. You need resources. Pop a couple wards. Channel deep thoughts. There you go. So our front bar. Running frags. It's kind of a weird bar. We're running a Destro Staff, but we're not running Force Pulse. Primarily, we're going to be heavy attacking a lot in this build. I'll go over CP in just a moment, but Elegant gives you, the 20% extra heavy attack and light attack damage. Or CP tree is going to also complement that, in addition. So Force Pulse is kind of one of those skills. It's kind of like a filler ability, but when you're bursting on this build, you don't really have a filler spot. So just replace that with Ellie Drain just so you can get the destructive passives. Not only does Ellie Drain give you the destructive passives, but also inflicts some major breach, reducing their resistances. That's about 10% equivalent damage, right? And it gives you 300 magic recovery every second, which is almost 600. Well, it is 600 magic recovery if you can keep that up 100% of the time. You're not going to be able to 100% of the time, but that's okay. You could possibly slot Lightning Form on our overload bar. We'll go over in a minute if you want to kind of keep that procced, but it's pretty much going to be up, I'd say around 80% of the time. So, I mean, we're just using it mainly for the passives. Running Execute. Execute's pretty essential on this build. Not necessary. You can burst people without it. Hitting people for 20k overloads right now. So, Rune Cage. I won't say this ability is broken, but it's definitely a necessity. You could put Lightning Form here if you wanted to, but I feel that it's important to have a CC on your main bars instead of only having the CC on an overload bar, which we'll go over in just a second, because people may be pressuring you, may CC someone, and you don't have time to be fucking flip-flopping back and forth between bars. It's just too annoying. So it's there, just for those oh shit scenarios. I guess especially against Stamplars when they put Power of the Cock on you, and when they're coming in for the burst. So Rune Cage them right in the middle of it to mitigate a lot of damage. All right. So overload bar. I'm going to show you. Okay, so we have infused weapon here from the Sigil Order skill line. The reason we have it here is just so I can show you this bug. If you wanted to, you could put Lightning Form in this spot, and you pretty much keep the 100% uptime on your Ellie Drain. Plus, you can proc Implosion, which is one of the Sorcerer passes. But I'm going to show you the rotation that we're going to use to burst your opponent, and then I'm going to show you the bug that's utterly fucking broken. I don't think anyone's posted a video on it. I really hope they don't. I feel bad for posting this. I may make a separate video just for the bug. But essentially, the burst rotation is as follows. You're going to have your curse. Boom. Rune Cage, light attack. Alright. Not much to it. Don't use fragment rotation. Don't even try to weave it in. So you want to have your curse. You want to light attack right after the curse, just so you can get your weapon proc. Right. So you want curse, light attack, execute, overload bar, Rune Cage, light attack. That's what's going to give you the most overall damage. That's the burst. I'll show you how hard the overloads hit. I guess. I don't know. The crit one should hit for around almost 40k on the target dummy, so that's pretty good. Just it's kind of like a filler until you get your ultimate and you're ready to burst your opponent. You're going to be winding up heavy attacks, so you're going to have your curse. You're going to heavy attack Rune Cage into a frag. and that's a shit ton of damage considering we're running elegant. Alright, so I'll just kind of show you what the heavy attacks are hitting for, the fully charged ones on the target dummy. So it's 21,000 heavy attacks. That's pretty good. It's half of an overload. We're going to see how much the frag actually hits, a proc one. Oh, crit. Hopefully it crits. Okay. It's not going to crit naturally, so I mean, we'll try to get one to crit just for shits and giggles. So 27. So it's about 6k lower than the heavy attack, which is about, so your heavy attacks are essentially doing like 70 to 75% of the proc frag damage, which is insane. So the heavy attack, and plus when we go over a CP tree, we're heavy attacking a lot. We're gonna have a lot of sustain from a CP tree because we stacked a lot of points into tenacity. So you made it this far. I'm going to show you the bug, and then we'll go over the CP tree. So the reason we have elemental weapon on our power load bar. So check this out. When you go in for your burst, right? I really don't want to show this. So you have your execute on. When you use your LE weapon, watch what happens. It double pumps the overload light attacks. I'm not sure why that is. So let me show it to you one more time. You may have missed it. So if you execute overload elemental weapons, boom boom. Fucking broken as hell. Alright? So essentially that equates to, so the non-crit for like 27k, they crit for almost 40k. That's like 80k damage in a second if they both crit. It's pretty retarded. Now, you can of course have LA Drain on. You don't even have to have execute on. The only thing you have to do is bar swap, infuse weapons, boom boom, rune cage, boom again. Nothing they can do. Absolute one shot, completely broken. I really hope Zoss addresses it. As you guys see, it's pretty broken. So we'll do it one more time. Overload bar and beam weapons. Spam your light attacks. You're going rune cage, light attack again, and they're dead. It's a one shot to anyone. Anyone I've ever dueled on this, they're like, "What the fuck?" I have a Sork with full shield. He's running dampened and hardened, right? So the first two light attacks go through both shields, and it brings him down to about 80% health. And then you rune cage into another light attack. You don't even need the he's dead. That's it. That's full shields of Sork running 48k max damage with dampened and hardened. It's a one shot to pretty much any class. The shitty thing is, if someone's running a reflect, you're fucking dead. Unless you roll dodge, you're fucking dead. Just instantly. I guess that's how you counter it. But so there's the bug. I may post a separate video about it. Like, I don't know if I should. So the only ones really gonna see this bug are you guys actually watching my video. I really appreciate the support and shit. So let's go into a CP tree. Dueling build, we got 61 to Warlord, 1 value point to Siphoner just to put a debuff on your opponent to make them think that they need to cleanse shit, against Magplars or Stamplars, whatever. Got 43 tenacity since we are heavy attacking a lot on this build. 43 Arcanist. Our stamina recovery is shit. No point in putting points into this. 51. You may need a break for your roll dodge, and you should be blocking on a sorcerer if you know what you're doing. So you need a lot of points in the reduced cost there. 72 Earthborn for those really juicy crits. 13 points LE Expert. All these increase the damage of your light attacks in addition to Master at Arms. Staff Expert does not. Physical Weapon Expert does not. I just got done testing it. Mighty does not. Despite what anyone says, they do not increase the damage over light attacks. Just do not. 35 points in Staff Expert. Like I said, we're heavy attacking a lot. It's pretty good. So next, 72 Ironclad. Like I said, this is a dueling mind frame. Most abilities are single target, so you need as many points in here as you can. 3 resistance. These are value points for later. 1 light armor focus. 23 thick skin. Everything's well rounded here. 37. 61 a bastion. You don't need more points than that because you're just gonna be ripping your shields anyway. And I got 10% expert defender. A lot of people's light attacking. Of course, the attacks damage is increased, so you need to mitigate that as much as possible. So that's it, guys. Really hope you liked the video. I will be streaming later, like I did yesterday. So I made the build video and then I streamed for about 4 hours later on in the day. You know, with that build, I'll be doing the exact same thing on this build. So stay tuned for that. Please hit the subscribe button down at the bottom so you know when I'm actually going to be streaming. And please stop by, drop a like, comment, creative criticism, whatever. If you guys want me to post a separate video, like a little more in depth of how to actually do the bug, then I'll show you. But I know my fan base is not going to exploit the game, right? I really hope you guys don't exploit the shit out of this. Okay, it didn't work that time, so maybe I'm Huff. Alright, guys. This has been Lockard, and thank you for watching. Take care.